to Ryooo versus Pofke. I am Screwloose. Joining me today is Corvus, kind of the
Hello,
same
everyone.
same cast as yesterday, just on a different channel. This will be good. So this is going to be, I think, a pretty big. I mean, I think any match in Platinum is going to be huge, but right now in the current standings, Pofke is at 5 points and Ryooo is at 7, meaning if Pofke can beat Ryooo here, then they'll be tied up for second place next to Lazy Bear. Pofke also has less matches played than Ryooo this season, but it's still an opportunity to, tie up the score.
Yep, and Platinum has been very competitive this season. It's not like some divisions where you have one person clearly dominating or a small group of people clearly dominating. I would say here we are halfway through the season, and we have one, two, three, maybe four people, all of whom have a shot of taking the top place in the division still.
Yeah, everyone but me. I think I'm too far behind. We'll see though, maybe. Who knows? So heading into this match, we do have the picks and bans, so I'm going to switch over to that screen and let's take a look. We're going to have Pofke banning out Balcony while Ryooo is banning out Redwoods. Some pretty common bans, nothing too surprising. Pofke restricting Redwoods, Ryooo restricting Aquarium, which is also unsurprising. I may have expected a ban on Aquarium from Ryooo rather than a restrict, because Pofke is really pulling out a lot of the Aquarium tech. Then we've got Pofke doubling Gallery, Ryooo doubling Courtyard, and then Pofke picking the restrict of Aquarium, and Ryooo picking Terrace. And I'm a little bit worried for Ryooo to let Aquarium through. And I don't know, what do you think of Ryu's picks of Courtyard and Terrace? I find those interesting.
Yeah, Courtyard and Terrace often considered a little bit of a linear map without as many paths to victory. A lot of people will pick things like Courtyard and Terrace when they think they just want to split a map and
Hmm.
have a good chance at that. And I think for Ryooo, I mean, Ryooo obviously came out behind in the last time these players played, which was last month. Pofke won 7-3. So I'm a little worried about those in combination with Gallery and Aquarium, but we'll see if they have some plans for them. If they're picking into them, they must have at least given it some thought.
Yeah, I wonder, kind of as Manatters maybe noting in chat, is maybe Ryu is just hoping to split these venues and maybe trying to just get a spy win through on one of Pofke's picks. A common strategy or mindset that players will have going into an SCL set is win all of my sniper games because it's usually kind of a given, depending on the venue. But and then you've just got to sneak one spy win through. So having some safe picks where you're kind of confident that you can get a sniper win, like Courtyard, is just a good kind of place to just get some points on the board. Terrace can kind of go either way. I think Terrace is interesting because there's some good angles for bugs. So if you get a contact seduce and then you sneak a good bug through, you can actually end up with a spy win.
Yep, Terrace 3 of 6, usually you'll see swap off, but I think even inspects on Terrace tends to be very disfavored. You're usually going to see either a bug or some kind of cheeky purloin. Fingerprint also not super easy to get on Terrace.
Right. And it looks like the first game is up. Let me get that loaded in here. We're going to have Ryu on Queen. If I can find the name. Okay, and let's get it started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So I like the Gallery pick here. Gallery has been a weak map for Rio so far in this season. They've only won 28% of their Gallery games, and they've played it 14 times, so not even a
Oh,
small
wow.
sample size there. So I suspect that Pofke is going to do fairly well in Gallery here.
What was their sniper win rate for Gallery? Do you have that?
I do. Their sniper win rate was 43%,
Okay, so below half,
and
yeah.
14 is spy.
We're
Well,
gonna
we are moving here. Quick banana bread.
Yeah, quick green BB. I believe it was green at the front conversation. And because Gallery, as noted, I think we talked about it yesterday, one of the plights of Gallery is due to the layout of this venue, sometimes it's actually hard to get a good banana bread, and sometimes it's hard to get your flirt done. So when a good banana bread pops up, sometimes you just want to take it, as we saw Ryu do here this round.
Yeah, an early banana bread will knock suspects out early in the game. That's one reason why you might want to leave it for later to force a sniper to pay attention to more stuff. But a late banana bread can be equally deadly if you can only really find a really bad one.
Yeah, you can definitely Banana Bread is such a versatile mission. It has so many different uses in terms of eliminating suspects, raising suspect levels, and covering for other missions. That's one of the downsides here of going for a banana bread and just kind of doing it dry with nothing else going on. Is now Ryu cannot use it to cover for another hardtail later, unless they go for a fake, which is also reasonable.
Well, we get a green flirt here. That's nice to see. We're going to enter a conversation here next to the ambassador, and we're going to take a purse bug as we just passed by, actually. That was really nice.
That was very nice. All of that looked pretty natural. It was after a briefcase redirect, which, hey, Ryu going for a briefcase. Nothing surprising there. But it was a good redirect, and I don't think he's suspected for that bug at all by Pofke. I mean, nothing looked out of the ordinary there. It looked like Queen was just going to green books.
Yeah, we pick up a flirt here at bookcase too, and we've made some pretty good progress here. We have 2 minutes left, and we really only have one mission left to do once we finish our flirt.
Yeah, this is quite surprising. It's not a rush, but it's definitely not an extremely slow round either. It's really going to come down, obviously, to whatever the fourth mission is going to be. We're going to finish our flirt here probably within the next minute or so, and then we're going to have to figure out what our fourth mission is going to be. Ambassador just left a fingerprint down on the front second statue there. What do you think the fourth mission is going to be, or do you think Ryu is just waiting for an opportunity to open up and then figure out what it is?
Well, I think it's going to have to be statues here. We've had enough statue visitors, and our fourth mission here is bug. And if when you do bug, it's a little bit of a binary mission, right? Either
Hmm.
you've seen the bug and you really don't have any winning chances, or you didn't see the bug, in which case you're not going to get shot for inspects. So with a bug in hand, I really like going for inspects as the last mission here. I don't like trying to do some weird book cheese. We have a minute left, and we do have to get moving. Inspects does take a lot of time. We might be forced to try to do something like a purloin if we don't get a good flirt here.
Yeah, we didn't spend a lot of time in that top conversation there. I don't even think we went through a talk animation. I doubt that Pofke is really watching Ryu at this point, just due to the highlights and lowlights here. We're going to finish Flirt at the front window, and now we just need one more mission.
Time ad.
It's time ad is
Go for it.
possible, but I don't think it's going to be inspects, right? Because there's just not enough time to get to
Not
inspects.
enough time.
If we go statue to statue, we'll probably hit overtime. We're
And
heading
then
to the
what's it gonna
back.
be?
It's
It's
going to
got to be
be
purloined,
book or
right?
purloin, yeah.
I don't
Purloin.
think we have time for book.
Here's the drink request. So here comes the moment of truth. We're gonna purloin. It is gonna hit OT once it goes through. It is green and it's a quick green. We're gonna have a clock hang, and I wonder if Ryu is gonna have the presence of mind to dance here. Amba's safe, so Pofke's likely not watching that, and Pofke is on top of it. Wow.
Instant shot.
Yeah, I don't even think he looked at the fade, right? He just shot.
As
Yeah,
soon as the
he
timer hit zero, the shot came off.
Yeah, he zoomed before the list was even taken and shot Ryu. Like, he knows that that was a green purloin. He probably saw the reject. He knows that that was a green purloin pending before Mom even took it to even check the fade. The shot goes off. So Pofke really, really on top of that.
Yeah, and I think that was just, around the 2 minute mark, we have really good progress. We take this drink from Toby, we idle at the left paintings for just a little bit too long, and we can't get the flirt done in enough time to pick up the inspects, and we're forced to go in for a last minute purloin.
Hmm. Okay, we've got the next one here. Okay, we're gonna have Pofke on wheels. Give me a second. Let me swap these two. There we go. Okay, Pofke on wheels in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So wheels here on gallery, obviously a lot of potential for book cheese. We're a low character with a good microfilm animation. Wheels can kind of get away with just microfilms completely invisible behind the back conversation if it fills up.
True. We're gonna have Oprah as ST again. First
Yeah, it's
flirt
a
for
green flirt.
51.
That's really helpful on gallery. As we saw last game, kind of mission, we say it every time we're on this map, but it's a mission that can get away from you really easily. Ambassador comes out and joins us, but no potential here, I don't think, for a bug, unless we feel like the sniper is super distracted by looking inside.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we were close enough, even though it was cross conversation with this circle being so small. May have been close enough, but it's not. Amba does come back and leaves again. I think we're just gonna timer flirt here.
Nice low light on Salmon for those bumps at door. Love to see that. Yeah, so we'll sit here and timer flirt. With a green, we'll finish that mission, which would be super nice. Uh, then we're looking inside. The ambassador really hasn't been touching too much stuff, unfortunately. So not a lot of potential here for fingerprints yet. As our seduction
Unfortunately,
target gets the briefcase.
yeah, leaves and then gets a low light for something related to the briefcase here.
Well, I'll never pretend to understand the briefcase. The ambassador does leave a print at the most inside statue here, but I don't think we can go for it this early. We're going to go for a flirt instead, and it is green, taking us to 100% on the flirt.
Another low light on somebody that took the briefcase. Maybe it was in geometry there, and Ryu low lighting for that, but I have a feeling it may be low lights for. We have a green purloin pending. The low lights may be for taking a briefcase that doesn't have a fingerprint on it. We're going to bail into green books in the open. I like the positioning for Pofke here. Doesn't look like Wheels, who's trying to hide behind Disney and Duke there to get the microfilm. We're wide in the open while the purloin goes off. And
There's the take. No obvious reaction yet. It was on screen, but not for very long. And Salmon gets brought up to a highlight after that bounce.
Yeah, I think it's because Salmon's holding a drink, so Ryu may be suspicious of Salmon for purloining here. Ryu spending a lot of their time on snipers zoomed out.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with Ambassador outside, as they have been for quite some time now. Uh, you can try zooming in and out, in and out, in and out to watch the Ambassador, but that can be very disorienting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I believe Ryu is going to continue to stay zoomed out even as the ambassador goes back inside, and that may have been part of the reason that they didn't seem to catch this purloin, is it's obviously a bit harder to see what's going on there in the back.
We're going to fail this difficult fingerprint, unfortunately. That would have put us in a commanding position here. Instead, we only have one fingerprint, 1 minute to go, and a pair of inspects. We do have purloin done, and with a good contact, we're heading outside to the double agent. We'll be able to make some progress here.
Yeah, and if we take this contact, we're going to be leaving one of the missions incomplete, which is going to have to be inspect because Ryu could be crediting Pofke with the second fingerprint on the back statue anyways. So if this contact sticks, I expect to see Pofke search for a fingerprint if possible. Unfortunately, the DA leaves, and we're in a position where we're going for a...
Banana bread.
Wait.
It's a fake banana bread.
Fake, yeah.
Both SDAs out of conversation, so no one real. Just letting off, looks like maybe 1 or 2 lowlights.
You know, and I actually don't hate this move because from the sniper's perspective, when you see a banana bread that is obviously a fake, it screams to me. Here we go. We're going to rotate and look for the swap. We're not going to swap. We're going to swap on the set down and then probably stand in place for a moment. We're going to take the shot anyways. I think that can be quite powerful to go for a known fake BB because it screams to the sniper, hey, I'm not going to mission win and I want you to just shoot someone. However, Ryu may see what Pofke is doing with that type of move, but nonetheless, kind of sniffs out the statue visit here and shoots Pofke for the inspect swap at the end.
Yeah, Ryo making me eat my words here. Picking up the win on gallery so far.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that too is due to Pofke's kind of bad luck with the DA, which is a whole part of gallery. So a little bit of pacing issues to where we ran out of time because, as you said a bit earlier, we were almost in a very commanding position. And prior to that, I think we were even in a good position with our mission progress. It's just that the DA left, and then we kind of we stayed in that bottom combo for a little bit longer than I would have liked to see. So we'll see how Ryu answers back on Spy in 3, 2, 1, planet. And we're on Queen again.
I love it. Queen's a great character. The purse bug actually can be quite good. So that we have that going for us if we manage to find a good bug spot in the back conversation. The arm just doesn't stick out as far as a lot of other characters.
Right. Take a look at who our ST is for the third game in a row.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have memes provided by the community, but sometimes in your match you just have to make your own memes. And that's fine too.
And again with the early contact at the bottom conversation, and it's not
It's
a
a good
terrible,
contact.
yeah, it's not terrible at all. There's quite a few people in convo, and we're going to go ahead and go for the split. Pofke not falling for it, and elects to pretty much ignore the bottom area. I don't think they zoom out really at all, and they're focusing on kind of just the back here.
Yeah, I think both conversations were real for that banana bread. And we get a flirt here. It's cross conversation, but we may as well pick it up anyways at 27%. See the ambassador here at green bookcase. That may be a tough fingerprint to get depending on what Irish does. Yeah, it's already smudged to a difficult.
Yeah, which probably won't deter Ryu because kind of in Platinum, it's like getting a non-difficult print is a huge red flag. Difficult prints is it's like the only kind of print you can go for.
Well, we will miss this one, unfortunately. Ambassador is here. We're going to take this book, the conversation, and I don't think we were really very hidden from the sniper's perspective. I'm certain we were seeing a green books there.
Yeah, especially because the ambassador was there and there was a print that was on it, where it's likely known that we have that green book. And if Pofke has done any research or anything onto Ryu's spy, he should know that Ryu definitely favors fingerprint and goes for it a lot.
Yeah, so we have 2 minutes left. We're going to do an innocent return on this green book well out in the open, which I think is the only way to go.
Yeah, I like
But
this
what do you
play.
think we're going to try to do with the rest of the game here?
I think that Ryu is going to play it by ear and kind of just improv as the party develops. So I imagine Ryu next is going to probably work on flirt if possible, and if not, may try and force through a third or fourth mission. So maybe work on inspects, maybe go for a mid-game
Oh, what's
purloin.
this? We return the book, and then just before we leave, we rip it back out again.
I like it. I like it. So in Pofke's eyes, Queen did an instant return on green and shouldn't have a book in hand because you can't grab a book after you put one back in the same visit. So that means that this book is very, very likely going into blue, unless we ripped it to get the fingerprint.
Well, it will go back in blue.
Yeah, and you could not even see the book in hand while Ryu was walking, just due to the way that Queen holds it in that angle. So unless Pofke was watching the pull out at blue and watching what the animation was, it really looks like this is a blue book that Ryu just grabbed.
That's so spicy. What a great play.
Yeah, that was a very good play that was very much needed at this point because looking at the timer on the clock, we did not have enough mission progress to get a solid win through, and now we're getting a lot closer. Um, Having said that, we're not going to be able to finish flirt. It's going to have to be something else. Even if we land this green, well, let's see what happens. We're up to 78%. We need to leave like immediately with this book and probably get a bug and then hopefully we get a flirt.
Well, it won't be a bug as Taft sprints away from us.
We're probably gonna nab this briefcase, get our second fingerprint, and set it down. Step next to Oprah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pofke on top of it. Gosh,
All kinds of invention in that set.
yeah, platinum is
You
so
said,
hard.
you
It's
said
like
improvise? You were right.
yeah, no matter how much spicy tech you use, like still Pofke is on top of it. If Ryu was able to do some of this with like 15 to 20 more seconds on the clock instead of it being at those last moments, probably a mission win. So like maybe Ryu keeps going with the same style of spy, but shoots for an early time ad to give themselves just a little bit more time because I think the part of the reason that Pofke is catching this stuff is as we're in that last 25 seconds, you're really looking for these kinds of plays because that's when these spies typically try to they kind of like idle throughout the most of the game and then get the last few things done in the last 25 seconds or whatever. So needs I think just a little bit more time.
Yeah, I mean, story of gallery.
Right. We're gonna have Pofke returning spy as Irish in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Quick take control into an early time ad.
Yep. And I think that's going to be valuable for both of these players. I mean, it's good just always, but I think the way that they play spy, they need just a little bit more time. Now, hopefully Pofke doesn't waste it and use that time to just do some active idling. I'd like to see Pofke just try and finish the game at the 45-second mark rather than the 18-second mark or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, we pick up a white flirt here. So with still more than 4 minutes to go, we're in good position for that. But we need to not. I mean, we can sit here and timer flirt maybe once, but that's going to be about all we can do before, as you say, we want to get moving here. Seduction target's cooperating so far, sticking around. And as I say that, there she goes.
Yeah, and you don't hate this. You could jump over and try and flirt with mom here, waiting for our idle animation so that we can actually leave. But it looks like we're going to stay in conversation and request a drink. This will be a very interesting purloin timing, and if this results in a purloin. It's a bit of a mix-up. It's not timing that you would normally do, which makes it it can make it pretty good here. It looks like we're going to innocent drink take. So Pofke electing to use that extra time to do some active idling and maybe try to bait a low light or mentally lower their suspicion in Ryu's eyes for just not getting that much done.
Yeah, we do a cross conversation flirt and into an immediate leave. We have a drink. We're heading for the door. Okay, we stop before we go outside, and we're just laser is fixed to our head here.
And for those unaware on gallery, the AI very rarely bring a drink to the outside of the venue. It is possible. I've shot an AI for it, and it was an AI, so it is possible. It's just very rare.
Another cross conversation flirt here. It looks like.
Reverse drive-by position, and we don't take it. Very surprising for Pofke not to take that reverse drive-by. You will see spies set up for bugs and then not take them if they think the sniper is watching. That way they're credited with like not being a spy. But from this angle, it would not have been seen at all. There was no way to catch it.
So we talked about this time ad and not wanting to waste it. We're now down to 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, and we have essentially two flirts, and that's it.
Yeah, and Ryu doing some laser circling. He kind of like waved his laser around the amba there. Not sure what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, Pofke, it may not be a waste. It's just that here we might see a bug. Yeah, we do a bug.
You will. Yep.
Very interesting bug. I'm going to want to see that from the spy view to see how that looked. We're going to pick up a highlight for it. Pofke not necessarily wasting it. He's just electing to do some active idling and then is likely going to shoot for a finish towards the end of the game. But even having wasted so much time in the back, there's still 1:40 left on the clock. And we have 2 missions done, and all we need is, well, we're going to have 3 as we get our contact. It is going to be a white on screen with Ryu zoomed out. He's electing to shoot for low lights, which means he's probably not looking at who's talking.
Yeah, we survived through the contact, and this is 3 missions done. So we do have time here. A couple more lights coming off here, it looks like, from Ryu.
And as you noted, we just had a drink outside.
Yeah, it's a thing. And like you said, shooting for those low lights, we didn't stay out for very long. I don't know how much that was noticed. We picked up the highlight, obviously, as we went outside for the bug. But I don't know if we also noticed when we were lit that we had a drink.
We had a safety off toggle onto Oprah as they were inspecting the statue, and Pofke going in to Oprah's statue, who we just had a safety off toggle on. If this is a swap, it could mean the shot onto Oprah. Let's take a look at Ryu's view here, and we're ending the first cycle, which means it's just going to be an inspect, no swap. It would have been great if Pofke swapped that. Obviously, the fade would be on screen, but still a decent gamble. Pofke may elect to go from statue to statue here. A little
Ooh,
bit of
weird
a
path.
I think that was a briefcase redirect, and that he did that swerve as Seek was stepping over it.
Well,
And
here's the countdown.
and there's the shot. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There's a lot to unpack in that I want to take a look at. I especially want to see this bug here and see what it looked like from the spy side. I want to see. Okay, so he's just standing behind. This is a very interesting bug. He's just standing behind close enough and going with the right arm such that it's all covered by the ambassador standing at the statue. So there's no turn, there's no going inside of. That that's actually like a little bit hard to land that precise angle and that precise spot to stand there to line that all up perfectly. It's not always easy to like land off pad and face the exact way that you want, because if you land kind of facing the way that you don't want, you can't really readjust. You can't turn your character in SpyParty. If you press one of the movement keys, your character moves. You can't stand in place and turn. So you've got to line that up perfectly. And then I also wanted to look at.
Yeah, and that bug, the only thing that worries me a little about that bug is how quickly we moved off from that. It was supposed to be some kind of, oh, look, I'm standing on the statue pad here,
Right.
and the statue is taken, so I'm going to move off. I feel like we want to stay there a little bit longer to sell that.
Well, it could have also been Pofke just hoping that the sniper is not looking at that for long enough and maybe try and make it look like it's a continuous walk rather than
Mm-hmm.
than stopping. And I want to take a look at that briefcase swerve there as we head for the last statue. So we're going, and yes, he does a camera whip as Seek steps over it. So I think his intention there is to look like a briefcase redirect onto the statue pad. So that looked pretty good, but unfortunately Ryu is on top of it and is going to shoot for the inspect finish.
Yeah, I think you called it being this match. We finished at 18. The shot was taken at 18 seconds.
Was it really? I just picked a random number kind of around what time they usually finish. That's funny.
A likely story.
All right, we're going to head into Courtyard, which, traditionally the community thinks is going to be very sniper sided. However, as we enter Platinum, and especially with someone like Pofke, I love playing against Pofke because they go for such. They will employ a lot of mind games. They'll go for frame games, and I think it's going to really. I think we'll see some very interesting stuff here on Courtyard, which we don't normally see from Courtyard gameplay. So let's kind of see what well, starting out with Ryooo on Spy, he's also had some spicy plays, so it's going to be good from both players. We're going to have Ryooo on General to start in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So General, a strong character on any venue. As we step in for a very early inspect here, and pick up the highlight for it. One of General's probably most defining characteristics, aside from his walking bug, is his ability to swap block. But I feel like on Courtyard, that's not really an option here, given the sniper angles.
Yeah, the angle, and we do get a green swap. The angle, because you can kind of see it from the side, it doesn't help as much. And I'm very surprised that we went for a swap this early, considering we started with the drink, which means it gave Pofke plenty of time.
Here
We're
comes the rush. There's the banana bread.
Yeah, we're gonna have an instant banana bread. Yeah, I think this is about the only way that this is going to work is if this is a full-on rush. I'll be interested to see what our fourth mission is going to be. It can't be Flirt. I think Flirt is going to take too long, and Pofke is going to unravel the sequence of events and figure out who it was.
Swap was on screen. Definitely saw Pofke kind of hesitate on it. But no lowlights or anything coming off.
Banana bread.
And we go for a second fake, which I like. This is going to throw a little bit more into the chaos. It's going to distract Pofke a little bit longer and cause him to think about some other things other than the fact that, General is could be Flirt paired with Kane and is working on Flirt or whatever he's doing. So it's going to distract Pofke for a little bit longer.
And the thing I like especially about this second fake is that it's our second real contact. Normally when you see someone fake, like one of their two contacts won't have a DA for one of the contacts. And here both of our contacts have the DA.
Yeah, I was about to say when you were done talking too that Salmon, if you look back right there before Salmon had gotten shot, we were in Salmon was in conversation with Ryooo as a spy and does like a stop talk into walk out of convo, which just looks really bad. Or it's not a stop. It may be a stop talk. It may be the end of their talking animation, but it looks fairly suspicious. Enters the other conversation and starts talking immediately, which is going to net the Civ shot and a point for Ryooo.
Nice game there, and lots of potentials obviously for a spy win here on Courtyard.
Yeah, and Twitch chat saying that they think that Ryooo was interrupting Salmon there to get them to do that and leave. And yeah, it does look like it. It does say interrupted speaker, so that may have been a move by Ryooo on purpose, trying to interrupt Salmon to get them to stop talk. So great move by Ryooo. Not something you see often, right? Like a full-on rush into let's slow it down and interrupt the speaker to hopefully net the Civ shot while we work on Flirt. So some interesting spy play again by Ryooo.
All right.
Let's see what tricks Pofke has up their sleeve as Sorry in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Looks like we're just going to try to chase down our selection target here, get an early Flirt, get a start on that mission.
Yeah, Pofke so far electing to go for a much more safer and standard courtyard opening of just work on Flirt, figure out the rest as you go.
Yeah, and our selection target goes to early statues, which can be nice to see. If we're trying to find a frame game, the selection target's often a good choice.
Pofke stepping into statues with the seduction target, elects to go for Flirt before the statue pickup. It's largely unnoticed, and we land the green to take us up to 85%, and now we've got our inspects done. And for the uninitiated, Courtyard right now is largely based around what the fourth mission will be. The spy will almost always get inspect, contact, and seduce, and what the sniper is watching for is that fourth mission. Purloin is, for the most part, off the table because the sniper viewing angle is so high, it's usually pretty easy for them to catch, meaning the sniper really just has to camp fingerprint, swap, and bug.
Yep, so a pretty slow start to this game. We have our flirt done, which is nice to see. We're going to need the contact here, and it will come off
Banana bread.
with a
Hopefully we see
white
a BB
step.
bug. I think a BB bug. And unfortunately the space gets violated before we're comfortable enough to take it.
Yeah, lots of places in Courtyard just set up for some kind of reverse drive-by as the ambassador moves around. Not a lot of space between the conversation circles and the big statue in the center. Um, but at this point, I don't think Fingerprint is on the table. As you mentioned, Purloin, very risky on Courtyard. I think we're just going to spend the next minute looking for a good bug.
Yeah, probably gonna be. I think we'll probably spend about 45 seconds looking for the good bug, and then if we don't find one, we'll either go for Purloin or swap. Or frame. Though I suppose at this point, mission win and framing would coincide as we only need one more mission. We could frame swap someone or frame Purloin someone.
Yeah, if we can find someone to frame swap, we could be turned it into a 50-50, which at this point, to be honest, isn't bad odds.
Yeah,
I
fit.
would
Go ahead.
almost prefer a 50-50 here to like trying to force a bug in the last 30 seconds. It will be a Purloin. It is white.
Fade
Trace.
was seen. Ryu takes a shot, yeah. Yeah, a 50-50 as spy on especially something on like Courtyard and Platinum is you kind of have to go for that. And in Courtyard, we are with I believe this was Ryu's doubled pick. Ryu up 4-2. Let's see how Pofke answers back on Sniper. Ryu will be playing Disney.
So this game, this game was a disconnect, so I don't think this game is going to count. So I think we're waiting for the players to get back into the
Ah,
lobby.
Let me check. Control Shift C. Is it this particular? Because then I won't cast this one if this one's gonna crash.
Yeah, this one is the disconnect. The game stops before the game actually ends.
Okay, we'll switch scenes. Loading next game. So do I need to escape to a lobby?
Yeah, this you have to escape the lobby.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, very tense set so far. I mean, we're seeing amazing spy gameplay, and then we're seeing snipers that are just catching it every time. It's pretty crazy, and really the tale of Platinum this season overall is I think it's just showing some of the highest level play possible so far in SpyParty competitive in general, unless I'm one of the players. But the other guys, all just really showing their kind of how well they've mastered the game on both Spy and Sniper.
Yeah, I think this is something people talk a lot about that actually is a little difficult for me is talking about consistency, right? Spy Party games matches are long. They're 12 games long, and you play a lot of them over the season. And so consistency in your spy play and especially in your sniper play can be really important. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning when we were looking at the draft that a lot of players will try to think of their sniper wins as givens and try to find a way to find a spy win.
Hmm.
And especially if you look at players like, especially if you look at players like Pofke. Pofke in season 6 has a 77% sniper win. That's the highest in the Master Circuit, and it's top 10 in SCL6 at any level. And that's really important to locking down these matches.
Yeah. Having a very strong sniper, again, kind of as you had just noted and I said earlier, if you can just win all of your sniper games and get a spy win through, that's a win in SCL, in an SCL match. I mean, that's all that you really need to net yourself a win. Um, so that's kind of playing into Pofke's favor. Of course, it's not as easy as that. Even the best snipers, even high percentage snipers are still losing games, still take civ shots and everything like that. But really locking down sniper is important because spy is just, due to the nature of the game, harder to win as against any high level sniper. And so what we'll typically see on Spy is people just trying not crazy things, but fairly aggressive things because you have to do stuff. If you go for very straightforward spy games at the master level of like, inspect, flirt, contact, and then just like a swap or something. It just something that's as straightforward as that it means you're just usually going to get shot. You've got to do some of these crazy things like Ryu um, putting the green book back and then ripping one as he leaves to then drop it off in blue later. You've got to try these new little innovations. You've got Pofke that did that wheels transfer on Aquarium. You've got to have all these kind of little technical tricks to try and pull out to kind of mix up the game. Otherwise, typical spy games are just not going to get through.
Yeah, spy games so dependent on what you get from the party can be very difficult for players to be consistent on spy.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of spy, so we're 4-2 right now. We are guaranteed at least one game on Aquarium, and spy and Aquarium has been very spicy this season. What can we expect from there?
Some of the most exciting gameplay that we've probably seen this season, I think, on Ryooo vs. Pofke and Aquarium. It's unfortunate that it wasn't doubled because it's going to be very fun to watch and probably very stressful for the sniper. With Aquarium, there is a shark that goes back and forth in front of the sniper's view that cannot be shot through. So what we're seeing at the high levels and the mid levels is spies who will enter mission win countdown by doing their fourth mission and then jumping behind the shark and walking with it so that they cannot be shot. Even if the sniper knows who it is, they can't shoot the spy. We have seen Checker, the developer, propose an idea to possibly balance this such that for the first time that the sniper takes their safety off, it will speed up the shark to kind of eliminate that possibility of hiding behind when the sniper knows, because that feels kind of crappy as the sniper to know who the spy is, but literally not to be able to shoot them. So we may see some changes, but for now, we don't have that balance. And so we're seeing players kind of abuse the shark in that sense. What the snipers are going to be on the lookout for is the setup. Standing in those spots, keeping track of the shark rotation themselves, and looking for people who are getting ready to abuse that, and therefore may have to take a shot before that point.
Yep, Aquarium seen a lot of development this season so far, and of course, if we manage to make it through Aquarium, and of course I'm hoping we do, we'll have Terrace, and Terrace I feel like is going to be a split capstone to this match if we get to it. I feel like both of these players at this level are going to have snipers that are able to find the spy and split it with a sniper party.
Yeah, I think Terrace will be interesting if we get there because as easy it is as it is to snipe, there are some good reverse drive-bys in a couple spots on that venue, and we also may see some bread distractions to do other missions. So I think Terrace could actually end up being interesting if we get to that point. And for those watching and aren't aware, we did have a disconnect. Right now, Ryu and Pofke are playing their seventh courtyard game. We've been spectating and waiting, so it should be popping up here pretty soon.
Yep, the spectation delay this season, a new development added to uh, ensure and further cement the integrity of the game. And it gives us, as casters, a chance to obviously talk about everything going on in the match and the players in the season and vamp at each other for several minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the next game. Let's get switched over. And we're going to have Ryu on Seek in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so we're going to come in, it looks like, for a quick flirt. Very standard start. We see general at statues, and I'm sure we're taking note of that. But no quick purloin here or anything like that. We're in conversation with an SDA, so this would not be a good fake, despite conversations being somewhat full. So we're going to chill here. Next to our selection target, maybe try to pick up a timer flirt, and then get moving.
Yeah, Ryu electing for a much more standard opening, probably because going for a double rush would be a little bit too predictable or a little bit too risky. And with a lead here, you really, if you're Ryu, if you can exit courtyard with getting a couple spy wins through, that's huge. We've got one, so I think he's going to play it safe and just try to get a spy win through.
There's potential there for a bug as the ambassador went behind us,
Banana bread.
but we're going to take this banana bread instead. It is green. Let's off. Looks like maybe just one low light.
Yeah, one low light in courtyard is great.
and two fairly full conversations with SDAs in them. Ours and that other conversation with Pearls and Sari had an SDA as well. Ambassador walks behind us again. Maybe we're feeling we're really not in range for these reverse drive-bys in our current position. So we're not
Yeah.
going.
Ambassador being offered a drink. I would not be surprised if we. Yep, here's the request coming up in the timeline. I need to go into casting mode. That's why I was able to see that. There we go.
Yeah, we do. We are going to do this as I think a easy fingerprint after Orange Sari rejected a drink. As the ambassador passed behind us again, this time we are in the drink animation, so we certainly don't take a bug there. We're going to take this drink, join conversation for our last flirt, and get this fingerprint.
Yep, and so Ryooo in a pretty decent position. A minute left. We're finishing up our seduce, which we very much needed. We'll probably take one sip and then gulp this drink at statue, and then try to find our fourth fingerprint. And because there was a reject, we're going to go for a fake, which seems unnecessary to me, but Ryooo may be hoping to lose some suspicion before heading in for their inspect here. And Ryoo's running out of time here. We do see the sip, and then we are going to see, I believe it should be a gulp. We are going to gulp the drink and then go for our inspect. Second fingerprint is going to be dicey because the briefcase is left. There's actually a fingerprint on this statue. Wow.
Yeah, and we hit the green for it. So this is going to be a mission win countdown as soon as we finish our inspects. I can't imagine there's a shot here. Okay.
And Pofke said, yes, there will be, and shoots Ryooo for finishing on the statue there. Wow. I mean,
Not
that's...
even mad.
Yeah. Great shot by Pofke. Obviously, it was right and catches Ryooo on the double fingerprint. Surprised we didn't, get a little bit of a suspicion, some lowered suspicion for going for the second fake, for taking an innocent drink which had a reject before it, meaning, may have been a good opportunity to purloin. But I think Pofke is just really tracking fingerprint, which is what you want to do against Ryooo. Pofke tracking fingerprint against Ryooo, that is. So let's see how Pofke answers back. We're currently at 4-3. Pofke is hoping for a spy win here as Duke in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We'll force a quick flirt here at window. Is a green 51. Love to see that. The ambassador comes close to us, but with a drink in hand, no way to take that bug even if we wanted to. I'm just going to join this useless conversation.
I'm just sitting here wondering how I'm going to get any spy wins through Pofke on Friday.
Yeah, no good suggestions from this match. Can't argue with that. Don't do whatever these people are doing. That's a good start.
I think I've just got to frame. Every time it's just got to be a frame game.
Just have an AI complete.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to hopefully move on from this conversation relatively soon. We have to go somewhere else to make mission progress. We have our selection target in conversation. Be a good place to head to. And looks like, our selection target leaves this conversation. So we will join it with nothing useful here.
Yeah, and timing is starting to become an issue here. It seems like we have a lot because there's 2 minutes, but it's actually going to be pretty hard to mission win safely at this point. And Pofke may be recognizing this and goes for a fake BB, possibly hoping for a low light so they can rush through some missions, but we don't get the low light. So at this point, Pofke's got to go for a frame. He probably didn't feel the laser, so does not think that he's low lit, and at this point is probably going to try and get some mission progress here and turn this into a mission win just towards the end.
Fortunate click onto Seek there. I think Seek was high lit and got one right click down to a neutral light. So that keeps one more person in the party here. But without something showing, I don't think we'll be able to induce a Civ shot at this point.
Right. Yeah, that's actually a really good comment that you just made, because some spies are hoping for a Civ shot, but against a decent sniper, there's likely not going to be a Civ shot unless there's something showing. And by showing, we mean the guest list gone or the statue swapped.
Yeah, very unlikely for an AI to be shot for fingerprint, for example, just because it's so rare for AIs to complete. It is technically possible. It is a soft tell, but especially on a map like Courtyard, there's just not enough things that the ambassador is touching the AIs are likely to pick up.
Yeah, I've thought about how interesting it would be if we added books on the other side, like where the statue's on the sides of the middle statue thing. Like put
Hmm.
them right in there, so you can go to books or statues kind of around the whole circle.
Yeah, just a redwood style, one character wide pad on either side with a little bookcase there.
Yeah. And we're going to pick up the statue, and we are going to frame swap for Mom. The fade is pretty obvious on screen. Ryu zooms in with safety off to take the shot and thinks better of it. Waiting for this, I think Ryu waiting for the second cycle there, so that he knows that Duke is at least entering the second inspect animation. Um, because if Duke had single cycled that, Ryu probably would have held his shot and waited for OT.
I almost would be interested to see what would have happened. I mean, obviously, I don't think we would have gotten a shot off on Mom if we'd single cycled that. But as a spy in that position, and I have the choice to either two cycle for inspects, which doesn't get me to mission win countdown anyways,
Hmm.
or one cycle. One cycle might feel like the higher percentage play there.
Yeah, I think obviously, you know what I mean. He got shot for it, so yeah, I think swap one cycle and then rush time at. I don't know. I think right there he was pretty much done for either way.
Yep. Yeah, an unfortunate end there. But on Courtyard, it can be really hard to force through a spy win.
Yes, very much so. It's typically people pick it because they're expecting to split the venue, but Ryu obviously had some tricks up his sleeve, and we're exiting Courtyard 5-3 in Ryu's favor, entering the aforementioned aquarium, which should be action packed. So we'll see what Ryu does here as Alice in 3, 2, 1 playing it.
Yeah, Aquarium, not a venue that you pick when you just want to split it. Aquarium, and we pick up a highlight for a Chaos Bug. That's bad news.
Chaos bug that didn't stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the worst positions to be in for Ryu right now because Ryu likely doesn't know that he's highlight. So when you're one of a few highlights, which now a bunch more people are picking up highlights, but I think the rest are for mission tracking purloin possibly, um, Ryu is going to be watched that much more
And the end of
than
red.
if they were just a neutral. A great BB. What, two people out? But we are gonna not an exact split, but alrighty then, Pofke.
Just flex on us a little bit here.
Yep. Again, like I was kind of saying, like if you're picking up that early low light for a suspected bug, you're going to be watched that much more. And when you're watched early on and you don't know it, you're going to do some little bits of spy things with your timing and your talking, timings and everything like that. So Pofke really keying into Ryu here, and I mean, this is going to I like that shot. It's obviously early. Most people would say just watch Ryu until they hit formations and then shoot, but that can really put the pressure on the other player and not tilt them, but get in their mind a little bit. So this is Pofke's opportunity to get in the mind of Ryu a little bit and say, hey, I'm on to you. I know that you're a point ahead, but I'm about to make some stuff happen. So let's see what Pofke does as Rocker in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, we're just going to join this conversation. No insta bug into insta rush here for us. And I have to imagine that we have a plan for this game.
Yeah, and speaking of plan, so traditionally, almost everybody when they play Spy, they don't have a detailed plan of what missions they plan to do. You kind of just improvise and see what happens with the party, and you have to adjust accordingly. Pofke, I do know that in one of the tournaments actually had, I think it was the Red Ones one, had some specific strategies to do as spy to a full mission win, all four missions, and actually use those regardless of what happened in the party. So it could be, and he said that it worked really well for him. So Pofke could have some actual fully detailed plans that he's going to go for regardless of what happens in the party, and maybe implementing those here in Aquarium.
Now we pick up one inspect at this, as our selection target was holding the other one. I hope that's part of the plan. because that's a little unfortunate to only have one inspect. And we go to bookcase, and this is already setting off alarm bells for me on aquarium.
Yeah, we could see a walk. We could see the Pofke transfer. It's going to be a mid-shark, so we're not going to be able to do it.
We go for this briefcase. Ambassador walking way off on the other side of the venue. Is that how the briefcase works? We walk towards the ambassador that long when the ambassador is walking? I have no idea how the briefcase.
No comment. I do know Max is working on a briefcase instructional video aimed at all levels of gameplay that encompasses everything about how it works. So soon enough, we will know the answer to that question.
Well, Ryooo highlighting for real.
Yeah, and Pofke broke animation on that leave there and
Ooh,
missed the
and
front
okay.
pad. Oh no. Oh no. That is very unfortunate for Pofke. I mean, that's just a rare mishap that you don't see at this level of gameplay. A missed pad, and I, I, I it's of my personal opinion that if you miss a pad like this, don't tap and try and inch onto it. That just stands out to me. Just stand here for a second and then walk over to the other conversation or walk to the book or just do something else. But tapping forward like that, the AI never do that. The AI do stop in the middle of nowhere at times and then wait for a second and then walk another direction. Of course, there's no reason for it here, but it's not going to stand out in Ryoo's peripheral vision like something like this would, because the AI just really never do this.
Yeah, and the short movements, they catch your eye and drag it over to you so much, like it's impossible to ignore. Whereas if someone's just angled the wrong way or stepping on the wrong part of the floor, you look over, it's like, oh, there's a character there, whatever, and you look away.
Yeah, it's just not going to trigger their peripheral vision because I don't think that Ryoo, was necessarily looking at that part of the screen at that moment. At least they shouldn't have been. So very unfortunate for Pofke. Hopefully they took a moment to regain their composure and doesn't let that affect them as they now have to win two sides of Terrace just to get 1 point. So Ryoo picking up one of the marbles here, and we're heading into Terrace 6-4. And I mean, this is probably one of the reasons that Ryoo picked this venue is because it's expected to be split, meaning snipers are expected to win this for the most part. So we'll see what happens. We've got General in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Opportunity for an early bug, we don't take it. I think it would have been very difficult to land with the way the characters are moving. Instead, we step into this very crowded bar. And this is a place, if the angles line up here, this is a place where you could try to just direct Purloin, but with Salmon leaving, I don't think there's going to be enough cover for that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect it on this venue from these two players. I think it's too risky. As a finishing move, yes, but as an opening move, I think it's probably too risky.
So we will give up at bar, move into conversation with our seduction target, who is Small Man. Pick up a flirt here. All right, so we're going to need to hit a green, but these players, as we've seen, perfectly capable of hitting greens in their match if they need to.
Yeah, and it's not too terrible on Terrace to get, a 31% flirt because a lot of your time is spent in conversations anyways, so flirt usually pretty easy to finish. And we're going to go for a talk here. This may be to go for a talk bug talk. I believe that we're close enough. Maybe. We're very close. We could see a contact bug cover. I think that would be a great move as soon as some of these other people join convo, which is what Ryoo may be waiting for.
We've talked 3 times in a row. We are really dominating this conversation. We have a lot to say here.
D8 leaves.
And another innocent talk.
And we have decent coverage, though there is a gap, and Pofke is really watching for this bug. May have had an opportunity for a bug on the exit there, but Ryoo elects to play it safe and not go for it. Smallman's grabbing a drink from bar and is returning right next to us. Here we have the opportunity to go for our green float that we desperately need. We're going to go for a fake BB. And this is likely going to be a frame delegate onto Smallman, who also just exited Convo. So that was a double leave.
Yeah, that was a red flirt, I think, to provoke the leave from Smallman.
Ah.
And we go and take the list. We get Highlight and Smallman is Highlight. We're down to 2, but no shot yet. But this could just be a matter of time, waiting for Smallman to talk again, potentially finish a flirt, and then take a shot.
Yeah, and I don't think Ryooo is that nervous here. Or, I'm sorry, Pofke is that nervous here because Pofke likes these types of plays himself and is probably very familiar with the possibility that Ryooo is just framing. So I think he's going to wait for someone to show mission win. We're going to flirt up to 70%, and we're going to stop talk, which I don't hate. Here goes the real BB. It is a white.
Banana bread.
Yeah, Smallman starts talking, but
Yep.
is talking late for it to have been a white for Smallman. That'll give us the shot.
I think you hold BB there. I think you hold BB and hope that Smallman talks and gets shot for flirting, because that white contact was bad. The stop talk I kind of liked because it's so bad that it's good, but nonetheless, Poffe is going to take the shot, and we're going to be in a 6-5 scenario heading into the last round of the set. We're going to have Pofke on Salmon, and let me get this switched over. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, this is how SCL is supposed to be. 12-game sets, playing for marbles on the last game of the set here on Terrace. Both of these players have left swap off. I assumed it's because they are cowards. We're just going to join this conversation with the double agent, who is General cozying up with Queen, respecting the lore.
Yeah, and if anyone can get a spy win through at this level of play, I personally think Pofke Spy is just fantastic for that. However, Terrace doesn't offer the same sort of creativity or enough creativity that Pofke usually needs to pull out some of their tricks. There are some options on Terrace. It's not completely without opportunities for getting a spy win through. There's just less than something like Aquarium or Tayen or Gallery or something with books or what have you. So Pofke is probably going to be aiming for a creative bug here, maybe a banana bread bug, or some I think some type of distraction is a good idea here.
Yeah, well, we are not wanting to spend too much time running around with missions. We have stood in this spot, rooted to the floor, I think for the entire game so far.
Yeah, we're probably trying to get kind of some mental low light to lower our suspicion so that we can do some stuff later. Not surprising to see from Pofke here, as I think Pofke at this point is going to rely on his ability to land the green flirts.
Yeah, Salmon, a very tall, very visible character. When he's just standing there in conversation, he's someone that you're going to recognize and see out of the corner of your eyes, not doing anything.
Yeah, and we're really not doing anything. We're barely talking here, so we can't even be suspected for just doing long-range flirts. We're not moving. I mean, we're literally just doing nothing. All the way down to 1 minute and 25. I'm actually a little bit nervous. I don't know what Pofke is going to do. They may just try and hope that Ryooo miss shots. I don't know.
Okay, well, we could red contact. We get highlight for it. Not 100% sure what we saw, but
I think we saw the talk, but we didn't see the cough.
yeah, catching red contacts can be surprisingly difficult if you're not looking directly at the person who coughs right as they do it. Because once you hear it, it's too late.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit tilting where it's like, oh, I should be catching this, and when you don't, you can kind of get in your own mind and try to think back and be like, what did this, I always kind of rewind what I saw in my head, and kind of distracts me for a little bit longer than just a normal contact. But so far, Ryooo just playing it safe. They have no reason to shoot. Pofke with 30 seconds left has 0 mission progress. I think we're just going to hope for a delegate frame.
Well, we will delegate to red dress, and I mean, we're the only one that possibly could have delegated to her.
Yeah, it could also be, her doing a direct take, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it was a setup on Oprah the whole time. Maybe she had real contact. I'm not sure.
There will be overtime. We were too late. And when the beep beeps don't come, it will be a timeout.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Pofke. I have to imagine that the cough was not a part of their game plan. However, the timeout frame may have actually been a part of their game plan as they weren't really getting any mission progress anyways. Um, Again, a pretty anticlimactic ending to what I think is still overall a great set, but I would have liked to see Pofke go for a mission win here rather than kind of the way that it played out. Um, and maybe a little bit, tilted from getting shot on Aquarium. That was Pofke that missed the pad on Aquarium as Rocker, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
very very unfortunate.
thanks so much for letting me join. I have to run.
Oh, yes.
Screw, but thank you for letting me co-cast with you.
Yep. Thank you again. Talk to you later. All right, and that is going to be Pofke versus Ryooo. What a set. Congratulations to both players for competing at a very high level. Congratulations to Ryooo for picking up 2 points to secure their spot pretty firmly in second place. Oh, actually taking first place now in Platinum with 9 points. So again, congrats to Ryooo. Thank you for watching, and that's all.